Hi guys, thanks for joining the Ricky Nguyen channel, where you can find the latest tips, tricks, and hacks for your business. Now today, the topic that I'm going to be talking about is email. Do you like it? Do you love it? Or do you hate it? I personally absolutely hate it. So when I went and set up my business, I knew from the very beginning that I wanted to remove it. I wanted to eliminate it. I didn't want anything to do with it. As much as possible, I wanted to find a way to reduce the amount of emails that was used in my business. So you might be wondering, well, why would you want to eliminate email? Let me explain what I usually do when I'm about to write an email. Now, a lot of business use emails to either get status updates, ask colleagues questions about certain problems, or keeping the team updated with certain problems with suppliers. Maybe you have information from suppliers. You just spoke to someone, and you want to pass the information on to everyone else. And every day, in order for you to be up to date with the status of a certain task or certain project, what you have to do is scroll through from top to bottom the entire email thread. You have to read to see, okay, who said what, at what time. Now, what gets really annoying is if another colleague starts a new email thread, and that email thread actually belongs to an existing one already. And you have to try and work out, well, whether that second email thread actually fits in with the first one, and how exactly does it fit in. And you'll find that half of your day, you are just spending time just trying to manage emails, replying to emails, respond to emails, or just asking for more details and trying to ask, well, what does a certain email mean? Just trying to get clarification, and you spend half of your day literally just managing emails. And that's what I used to have to do when I was back working at one of the banks, just sending emails every day. And the dreaded thing was when I started to write an email, I would think, okay, so how do I start this email? Dear John, or hey John, or what's up John, or maybe just more casual, John, there was an issue the other day, and then you get to the constructing part, like how do I kind of ask the question? Do I ask it nicely? Do I ask it straightforward? Or when you get to the end, like how do I wrap up this email? Like for example, like kind regards, or best regards, best of luck, or thank you very much, or thanks. Is that too casual? Or thank you and have a nice day? So you're spending half of your time like trying to construct these emails, trying to communicate. And really a lot of those time can be better spent on actually doing the work than trying to manage the emails. So that's what I wanted when I started my business. I wanted to eliminate emails. So how exactly did I do that? Well, I'm going to show you now. Okay, so before I start talking about the solution that I end up using for my business, I really want to introduce to you a concept called Kanban. Now, Kanban was developed by Toyota. One of their management team had developed a process or a way to communicate with their team in order to maximize the efficiency of their communication process. So I'll show you what it looks like. So over here, you can see that, as I said earlier, it was developed in Japan, in Toyota specifically, and this is what the Kanban board looks like. So here's the Kanban board, and literally what we used to do was have a whiteboard, a big whiteboard, and we would draw this up. Okay, we would draw this whiteboard up with these topics. And what these yellow cards here are sticky notes. Okay, so you will get sticky notes every day. Instead of writing emails to each other, you will write your task or the projects or whatever that you're working on. You put it on to this board. You put it on to say, whether it sits in the backlog category, or whether you've progressed it and you're working on it, so it will be in a work in progress. And then you would say, if you finished it, you will pass it on to and put it into the review column, and then possibly look at the test column. And then once that's done, you look at the done column. And any items on here that isn't done can be moved over to the block column. So we have something very similar. So this is what we call Kanban. This is Kanban. So I'll show you some. So this is what we used to do. We would stand in front of the whiteboard and we would do this as a group discussion. We'll put on our sticky notes on the board like this. Okay, and we'll stick it up, and then we'll move the sticky notes from one column to the other, and each color would represent a certain person's task, so you'll know how many tasks belongs to a certain person. So for example, in here you have the orange sticky notes, and then you have like one in the to-do column, and then you have 4 in the in progress column. So you can see that you can quickly see that whoever that has the orange sticky notes, has this many tasks on hand, and has all of these amount of tasks that they need to work on. So you can quickly see the workload. Okay, so this is Kanban. I'll show you some more images. So yeah, so this looks very much like what we used to do here. So this picture here, that's exactly what it looked like. And we'll huddle around in a team, and this is what we used to do. Okay, now this Kanban board can get pretty crazy. So it can start to look like this here, over here. And then, wow, look at this, to do, doing, done. So you can change and vary the description of your column, and it can get quite hectic like this. Once you have lots and lots of members working in your team that you're collaborating with, and you have lots and lots of tasks that you're working on, the Kanban board can end up looking like this, as you can see here. Even though it looks quite messy, even though you can see there's lots of tickets here. We call it tickets, but or you can call it sticky notes. But even though it looks like there's a lot, but it's actually quite organized, you can go through these items pretty quickly. Okay, so that's Kanban. Now, there's a company, an Australian company, had created a product that tried to utilize a lot of those theories and a lot of those benefits and convert it into a software. And that company is called Atlassian here. Okay, one of their product is called Jira software. So the Jira product is a product that tries to replicate those workflow. So instead of you having physically having on the whiteboard or on a wall, you'll have it in a computer screen here. So you have, for example, what they show you here, travel booking division, all of these here. So here's the pricing page for Jira. If you're interested in taking on the software, it is free for the first 10 users, and it has very basic features on here. And if you want more advanced features, you'll need to start to pay for each individual user. They also have another product called Trello here, Trello. And this is free, I believe. So you can use this in your team. Okay, and it's the same thing. It practically, it's what it's trying to do here is also trying to create that Kanban board in a digital format. Okay, and I'll show you our one. So I'll log into our one here. So in my company, we have all of these projects here, and all of these projects belongs to different teams, and different teams have different tasks. So we have the admin team here. We also have the admin team service desk, the accounting team, the the customer service team, the HR team, the IT team, the marketing team. So each of our team has a board, and each of these board represents a certain set of tasks that they are working on. So if you go into, say, the admin team, you can see that we have all of these items here, and you can see that there's in progress items. We have waiting on customer items, pending review, second review, approved items, and items that are done. So here are some items that you can see that we're working on. Now, what's great about this is when you create an item, so I'm going to create a sample item here, like sample item, and I go into this item. So here's the status of it. The status, you can say it's an open status, or you can say you can move it to the next phase. So if you want to, again, if you want to know where the board is, it's in progress, and then maybe it's sitting in pending or review or approval. So you'll say, if you create this new sample ticket here, you can say, I'm going to work on this, and then you can assign it. You can assign it to yourself, or you can assign it to one of your members. And by doing this, this is like assigning a certain color, like what I said before, how we used to have a different colors sticky notes here. So instead of having different colors and making sure that we go and purchase and buy all these different color sticky notes, and sometimes you run out of color out of your sticky notes, and you have to borrow your friend's one. You have to go make sure you go back and you write on the correct color, otherwise everyone gets confused. So instead of having all those problems, you would you'll be able to assign it to a certain individual, and in here you have a lot of space to write what those tasks are. So you can describe what the tasks are, and you can also put all the links and stuff. And the amazing thing about this is that it also keeps a history of all the movements of the ticket, and you can look at and you can also look at the transition that occurred with the ticket. You can see that whether it's moved. See how it's an open ticket. It got created, and then once it got created, it was moved to in progress, and it was moved by me, and it was moved a few seconds ago. Now, if your member moved it to approval, you can see, well, how long ago did it get sent to you for approval? So it tracks the whole history, and it does a whole audit of the flow of the entire workflow in your ticket system. And going back to the topic of emails, now instead of having long emails, you can just leave a comment. So if you're working on a certain task with a friend, instead of writing, "Dear John, please can you describe what happened?" Well, you can say, "I set up new printer," for example. I don't know. Say you set up new printer is the first comment. So someone can go in here and they can see that 42 seconds ago, someone set up a new printer, and then maybe you can go in and say, maybe there's an issue with it, right? You say, printer not working, like that. So that can be you, or that can be another person, and you'll bring it back and you say, it's in pending now. I'm going to assign it to that particular person that I want them to take a look at, right? So you see how you can get onto the work very, very quickly. You can start working on it. You can start talking to each other, and you start communicating about the topic instead of having to muck around and play around with all of these these emails. So that's how we do it. And the amazing thing about this as well is that it can also link to your emails. But if you don't want to pay for the more advanced features, I recommend you take a look at Trello. It is free. You can start using this for free, and it does the same thing. It lists out items in a Kanban board. So our Kanban board like this, you can go back to your Kanban board. And when I train my new members, when they come and join our team, the training is very simple. This is what we say to them. So whenever you have a task, just make sure you create a ticket for that new task. And once you create a new ticket for the new task, your objective is to move the ticket from left to right. Move from left to right. So once you're done once you finish your items in progress, move it to review. If it's sitting in review, then someone has to move it to approve. And if someone's moved it to approve, then somebody has to wrap it up so that they can complete the ticket. So, and that's our instruction to our members. Whenever you assign a task or assign a project, your objective is to move the item from left to right. And it's that simple. And that's how we communicate with each other instead of using emails. Yes, you can see how quick and easy it is to jump in there and grab an item, grab a ticket and start making comments and start discussing stuff with people. And you pick up the phone, you say, hey, I'm looking at a ticket, 123. Can you take a look at that? And they'll be able to jump into the Kanban board and open it up and take a look at the item and issue straight away. So it eliminates so much time with having to deal with emails. Now, the question is, do we still use email? And the answer is yes, we do still use emails. And we use it mainly for registration with the government or some suppliers or some products. But in terms of everyday communication with each other, we don't. We use the Kanban board, specifically Jira. Now, I'm not endorsing Jira in any way. You can use any product that you want as long as it has that board. Okay, the Kanban board is not invented by Atlassian or Jira. It is a concept, and that concept was developed by a Japanese management team in Toyota. And Atlassian and Jira just implements that idea onto an electronic format. Okay, so I hope that helps. I hope that gives you some ideas that you can utilize in your own business. So if you hate emails as much as I do, this is definitely a solution that you can use to implement in your own business to eliminate all of those time-wasting activities. Okay? So I hope you like it. If there's any comments or feedback that you want to add, please leave a comment below. As always, please leave a like and subscribe. Thank you very much. And until next time, bye.